Alrighty, hello world of YouTube. We are here with, well, another summer video. This will probably be the one of two last videos in my summer training vlog segments for the 2024 cross country season. And I gotta say, it has been quite a summer of training. This paper in front of me is something I put together. I don't have the date of when I actually wrote it, unfortunately, but it would have been sometime in May. I wrote up this whole plan, and I'm putting images of it on the video so you guys can see it, of like my whole plan of how I'm gonna really tackle this summer and what I want to do and why I want to do it, and kind of incorporate the training that my coach has given me in a way that'll work for me to give him the athlete he needs me to be for the team and himself and the athlete I want to be. Okay, that's, truth be told, at the end of the day, however much I train and such, I won't go anywhere unless I truly want it and I'm willing to go for it. And so I really designed this template to really follow and work alongside my coach's training this summer. And I will tell you personally, I think this summer was a very, very huge success. By far the best summer session I've ever had. The video is going to be broken up in the following ways. 1, mobility training. 2, strength training. 3, mileage, like just running and such and how I approached it. But then the last part, why do I deem it successful? And that's where this paper is really going to come in. So with that, let's hop into it. Let's go into mobility. So for mobility, what am I talking about when I talk about mobility training? So I'm talking about two things: my band work and yoga. Okay, let's start off with the band work, because for those who have been following my channel for a while know I am a very firm believer in the power of band work. Since 2023 track and field, I have been making sure to implement band work sessions. I kind of derailed off them a little bit during 2023 cross country, but then I got back into doing it during 2024 track and field, and then I just said I'm going to commit to doing them fully again. The way it ended up going this summer was I did the following exercises. I did the following as a set, and if you're interested in it, there is a link to that video in the description below. So with that, let's name off the band work. For those who know the exercise, great. If you don't, like I said again, exercise will be in the description, as well as the link to the video where I do them all. So my main set is 15 step-ups, 15 teapot things, 15 fire hydrants, 15 squats, 30 crab walks, which is 15 each leg, 15 hip circles clockwise and counterclockwise, 15 glute bridges, 15 perpendicular leg things. And then I do 2 little ankle exercises, which is 15 horizontal leg things and 15 ankle outies. And then it's just other because it's a hip exercise. I just call it side hip thing, and I do 10 of those on each side of for my hips. I've been doing that twice a week this summer, and they've been about, I want to say, they've been anywhere from 15, not 15, anywhere from like 18 minutes to 20. One time it did take me 26 minutes, but that's because I was doing them for that Bandwork video that's in the description below. So I do those twice a week, and then I additionally do a 30-minute yoga session, and that started actually because of UC Merced. At UC Merced, once a week, typically every Wednesday after our midweek long run, we did a yoga session. And I'll be real with you, world, my flexibility hasn't much improved, but I do feel a lot of relief whenever I do that yoga. So I decided to keep doing it personally, just for that little bit of relief for my body, particularly my calves. I feel they get a lot of benefit from it, as well as my hips. So I kept up with that, doing that once a week, just following Alex Curtis's YouTube video. Something about just about flow, little flow movement. And I did that, committed to doing that once a week. Typically I did every Wednesday. Sometimes I had trouble and wasn't able to fit in, but I always did at least once a week along with the 2 bandwork sessions. And it was, you know what, it went great. If you look on the video here, you can see my Strava with it. I managed to keep up with it, and I was very consistent with it. And honestly, it's been helping me. I really think I got a lot of good strengthening from it. While my flexibility isn't the best, my general movement's still somewhat decent. So I'd say it's part in just mainly helping me recover and helping me get a little bit of strengthening in those smaller muscles. And I think it's been helping me with just good general maintenance. So with that, that's what my mobility training was for the summer, and that's my Strava proof of it and how it went. So with that, that's my mobility portion of the video. Now for the second part of this video, strength. You guys can't see this, I'm sorry. Strength. And well, I have yet to make a strength video, which is going to be the other last video of my summer training videos. But next week, I plan to, by next week, I just mean that, so I leave back for Merced on the 17th of August. So sometime in that week is when I plan to get that video out. But this whole summer, I have committed to being better about strength. My roommates can vouch for me. My team can vouch for me. Really, anybody can vouch for me, honestly. I'm not a big fan of strength. It has nothing to do with the fact that I don't dislike muscles or anything. It has something to do with the fact I just don't like having to go do weights, do a bunch of exercises, and I just don't enjoy it. At Merced, the strength training was a lot more, I'm not going to say mandated, because coach gave us a lot of free rein on that. But it was a lot more encouraged and advised, as well as the only time it was required was when we had strength and conditioning sessions with Melissa or someone else. It was just Melissa, actually. But that was the only time I did strength, and then otherwise core with the team. I worked with these 2 20-pound dumbbells all summer. Okay? And since I don't really like strength, I had to really find a way to convince myself to do it. And I accepted that right now, there is no way you're going to convince me to go to the gym every day because I live so far away. So I was like, okay, what do I have at home? I have 2 20-pound dumbbells that I got, thankfully, from Mitch. How can I use them? I was like, well, maybe I don't need to do a lot of strength. Maybe I just need to be consistent. So on this paper, you can see that I put on strength. My goal is to just hit 90 minutes a week. That's just an hour and a half, okay? I managed to convince myself, hey, I can do an hour and a half a week dedicated to weights. That's not that bad. And if you look here on the side here, you will see the Strava proof that, hey, I managed to do that. Except for what you call it this week, because this week isn't done. But I committed to doing what ended up being 2 sessions a week with these 20-pound dumbbells. Now, when I first started, actually, let me backtrack a little bit. And I'll put this circuit in the description. So here's the circuit I did, and as well as the order of them. So I did single leg RDLs, then I did rows, single leg calf raises, tricep extensions, those things were a pain. What you call it, goblet squats, and then hammer curls, and then step ups. And for the legs, here's how I did the legs at first. When I very first started, my very first week of summer, I did 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 15, and then 3 sets of 18. And then for the arms, for rows and tricep extensions, I went 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 12, and 3 sets of 14. Then for hammer curls, I went 3 sets of 10, 3 sets of 12. I had the hardest time with hammer curls. As of this week, I just started increasing the reps on the arms. I kept the legs at the same 3x18, but on the arms, I have bumped it up to 3x16 for the rows and tricep extensions, and then for the hammer curls, 3x14. Now, when I first started, I wasn't hitting 90 minutes a week. I'll admit, my first 3 weeks, I hit like 71 minutes per week, which is an hour 21, which isn't bad, but it wasn't 90. Then when I increased the reps again, I was getting like 88, 89. But it wasn't until I hit that third increase that I finally started hitting 90 minutes a week and even like 98 and 100 minutes a week. So I managed to keep that consistent this summer. And I'm really, really happy with that. So, and I'll admit, I've felt stronger, I look stronger, and you'll see when I do that strength video, I'm going to really do a comparison of just the overall muscles, but I haven't been able to be consistent with my strength, and I finally managed to do that and found a way to do it that works for me. Now, did I have to commit to doing about 40 to 50-minute sessions per week? Yeah, I did, but I managed to find a way to grind my teeth and do it, and it's really actually been helping my running. I won't lie on that one. And I'll get into how I know it's been helping later when I get into the more running data. But yeah, overall, that's my strength circuit, what I did and what my goals were, and how I did. I'll admit, I did make a note here that core was something I could have done better. So something tells me I'll get rectified when I'm doing 10-minute core with Cole Draven in them again. But while I could have been a little better on the core, I at least got strength up and going. And now, similar to the mobility with the band work and the yoga, I just now need to maintain it. So let's keep doing that. Remember, if you're going to only do a little, just be very consistent with it. Now, guys, some people who aren't athletes are going to say, Josh, 90 minutes in doing weights is a lot. That's not a lot. I know people put in like 5 hours a week and even 10 hours a week. So I'm on the lower end of the spectrum. But I'm at least doing something and more than I've ever done before. I'm not going to lie on that. That's a little probably sad to some, but it's where I'm at. And you know what? Just by doing that, doing more than I have and being consistent with it and continuing with that, I think I'm going to see a lot of benefit from that. So with that, that's my strength and how it went this summer, as well as the kind of the proof behind it. Now for the last part of this video, my mileage. Now, as you can see, I have my other phone here. I am currently pulling up my Google Sheet so I can actually kind of give some numbers behind my mileage, as well as the Strava screenshot that I've been showing. So in here, so my biggest thing this summer, if it hasn't already been kind of made clear, is I want to make sure I'm being consistent while also being conservative, but also doing enough to get in shape and feel ready for the upcoming season, but not to the point where I overexert myself and get burnt out. I've done that before, and there is no reason, I have no excuse to be doing that now. So something I really had to tell myself this summer was you have to be okay with building up slowly. And I did that with the strength, I did that with mobility, and then I maintained. I did do that with the mileage. I probably could have been a little better, I'll admit, but it is what it is. So after track season, something I made a very, very big mistake on last summer. I did not take a break after cross country, or after track and field, or after 2023 track and field, and then I went right into training for 2023 cross country. That did not help me. I got injured and I had to sit out my last 2 meets. It was horrible. This summer, I really made sure to take a rest. So I ended up taking 3 dead weeks off running, okay? My first week back, I did 12 miles, 12.28 to be specific. Then my second week, I did 38.91. Then I got stuck doing 33. I must have missed a run that day. But then I went into the 50 weeks, okay? And then I went 51.81, 54.17, 57.52, 54.31. I hit a 60-mile week, 62.84. Then 58.26. And then this last week, 62.11. Okay? On my sheets, here's what it says. Running will start June 1st. Well, I about did that. I probably ended up starting more like June 2nd, it looks like, but looks like that's when I started. Now, my build-up, I did want more like this. 10, 20, 30, 40, 45, 50. I did not do that clearly, but that's okay because, you know what, I'm not a new runner. I'm not a college freshman. I know how to handle my high mileage, so I'm not going to diss too much that build-up, mainly because I took 3 weeks of rest. All right, so I do wish I did that a little better, but I'm not going to be too hard on myself for that because I at least took a lot more rest than I did, and I kept the mileage very relaxing. And then it says here, get to 55 to 60. We've done that. We're holding that. I think the highest I'm probably going to go this summer, which will be this remaining week, and then the next week, is probably going to be 65 at most, maybe 67. And then we're going to hold 70s and high 60s throughout the semester. So, in terms of running mileage, even though my buildup was probably a little swifter than I anticipated, it went good. And I've been doing a good job of just feeling relaxed, running with the flow, and just going with it. So overall, my mileage this summer was a good build-up, good maintenance, and mainly I just enjoyed running and I felt good running. So overall, mileage I'm happy with. So now we're going to take that and implement moving forward. And here's the good news also. With the way I did my running this summer, I didn't do actually a lot of doubles. So one nice thing is this school year when I'm back on campus and such and with the team, when we're training, when I start implementing things like doubles, a little bit harder workouts with shoes like the super shoes, I haven't had a lot of that stimulus implemented in me yet this summer, so I'm going to see a lot of training benefits. So ideally, I'm peaking at the right time. For my mileage, what I just did was anytime he said do a 35 to 60 minute run, I always did 60 minutes. Anytime he said do 4 to 8 by 6 minute tempos, I did 8 6-minute tempos. So like I always got all my mileage from just doing the max. So then I didn't do a double to either one get into those really higher mileage weeks like 70s and even 80s like some of my teammates. I instead just did the max to make sure to get to 55 to 60 to just get to where I need to be for the summer to come in shape. And then when we start training, ideally what's going to happen is we're going to have all those extra things just add extra benefit to my fitness training and overall eventually help me achieve my eventual goals. We'll find out if that works. The season vlogs will tell. But that's the idea behind it. But I've been feeling unlike last year, I just feel a lot more relaxed and I've been enjoying myself, and it's honestly just been really great. So overall, that's the mileage portion of all my summer training. And yeah, overall, between the mobility, strength, and mileage, it went really good. So now, let's see how I know it all actually worked. Because I'm telling you guys how I see it. I've given you numbers. I've shown you my Strava proof. But how do I actually know? Where's the validity? That's what we're now going to go into. So now, for the evidence. How do I know it's actually been working? Well, here's the good news. Since I keep a track of a lot of workouts on my UC Merced's training log spreadsheet, or workbook more accurately, I can look at my previous summer trainings, and I look at spring of 2023 and think, gosh, that's atrocious. Sorry, not spring, fall of 2023. Anyways, here is a good example. So on July 13th of 2023, I did a continuous tempo for 45 minutes, it looks like. 45:04. I ran 7.5 miles, which amounted to 6 minutes per mile. Okay, and let's see. Here are the notes on it I wrote. Did by myself, felt in control, and had a lot of fun. So I did that, and I actually do happen to remember that day because I was with my old high school. My coach was impressed. Now, fun fact about that. In retrospect, I was dying a lot that run, but I did that run completely in super shoes, and I kind of did it like really like not knowing what I was doing. Let's go to this summer. On July 18th, so we're talking a year and 5 days from that moment, I did the same tempo at 45 minutes on the dot. I'd hit 7.42 miles, which is 604 per mile. Now listen to this. Far superior shape compared to last summer. More consistent and no super shoes. Felt great, just fatigued from strength. I did a strength session the night before. I was actually really tired that day, so I did it as a continuous tempo still, but I simply just held pace rather than going from like 6:30 down to like 5:30. I just really kept it consistent. I went like literally my fastest was 6:01, my slowest was 6:09. That previous tempo, my fastest was like 5:40, but then my slowest was like 6:30. So like the consistency was so much better. And now let's take a look at our 3-mile time trial. This was the key indicator to me that, oh wait, and actually wait, another key indicator from that, I wasn't wearing super shoes for this year. I actually haven't worn the super shoes, flats, anything like that, except one time, and that was my 3-mile time trial. And I did all the same workouts, but better and faster this summer in my regular old Asics trainers, whereas last summer I was barely getting them all with my super shoes. So a lot of strength. I have a lot better stamina, strength, and smarts. And I attribute that largely when I'm older to I finally just sat myself down and said, relax, listen to my coaches after 7.5 years of not. Then 3, the mobility work from the yoga and band work and the strength, I think it all like came together and worked out. But the big indicator to me that I was in shape was my 3-mile time trial. So I have a note here that says this. For 3-mile time trial, I only need 16 flat. As long as I can do 3 520s exactly, I will be ready. Okay? How I came to that metric, I don't quite remember. I think it has something to do with the fact that that's better than high school or something. I don't know. Here's what we have for 2023 cross country. So in my notes, I have on July 25th of 2023 my time trial. I hit 15:55, which is 5:18 per mile. Good solo time trial. Could have been better after mile 2, but still happy with this and ready for more. That is true. If you guys look in the description below, I actually did do a video really analyzing differences between my time trials. So I'm not going to go too heavy in depth with it, but I am going to say this. That time trial, I'm proud that I was willing to go out and go for it. I hit the sub 16 and it went good, but I was a stubborn yak. So this summer I said, okay, we got to relax. And how can I do that? So the first thing I did was I got a bike pacer this time. He's a former King City High School Hartnell and Alaska Anchorage legend, Jesus Avalos, alongside Aurora Roscoe, who we all call Wallow for those who have been on the channel for a while. And I asked him, hey, could you bike pace me for my time trial? And he said, yeah, of course. So he helped me out. And let me tell you what I did. So in my notes, July 23rd, so basically a year, technically 2 days off, but basically a year. And I did the same exact course that I did the year before. So the nice thing about it was I had direct equivalent metrics that I could look at. I ran 15:47, 5:15 per mile. I ran faster, okay? And I did wear super shoes this one. But you know what? I ran faster than last year. I ran faster than what I said I needed, and I felt great. And here's what I put in my notes. I'm in shape for something big. Jesus helped me out a ton biking that with me. In his words, you went for a tempo. I felt great that tempo. And like I said, if you want to see more on that, check out the video below about my 3-mile time trial. But I just felt great that tempo. Wasn't ever feeling like I was gassing myself. I just felt like I was running and having fun for just 3 miles. So that's how I really knew I'm in much better shape than last year. That my time trial was faster and I just felt so much better. Like after that time trial back in 2023, I felt like I died. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. It took every ounce of energy I had. This one, that wasn't the case. So all that shows me I'm just in better shape. But then the big one, this just happened. So today's August 9th. This happened literally yesterday. Okay, and this is probably I think this was my last big tempo of this summer. I had to do another 45 minute continuous tempo. So on August 8th, 2024, I did 7.72 miles as a tempo, which is 5:50 per mile. Okay? And here are the notes for it. On a treadmill at 2% elevation in my trainers. We're ready for the big leagues this season. I did, and for reference, in super shoes, on July 20th of 2023, I did 8 miles in 46 minutes and 23 seconds, which is an average of 5:48 per mile. Okay? I did that in super shoes outside in King City with all my old high school routes, and I managed to pump out that. But then this summer in trainers on the treadmill, and that was tough, man, doing that. For 550 per mile, I hit 7.72 miles on the treadmill in my trainers. Like, I never thought that was possible. I'm not even going to lie to you. And the fact that when I did that tempo, I realized I'm ready. So overall, that's my supporting data. I set out of how I really wanted to maintain my training alongside coach's training, because he gives me the miles, he gives me the workouts, he gives me the strength, he recommends the Bandwork. I'll admit I brought that one from RDL, but he gives me everything. And I said, this is how I want to utilize it to make sure I be the best athlete I can. And so far, it's been going great. So now moving forward, what do I have to do? I just need to continue all that, trust myself, and trust my teammates. And you know what? If we can do this all, we're going to be set. So with that all said, I'm ready. This has been a great summer session of training, and I'm very, very excited to run this season. So with that, that's my review on 2024 cross-country season training, why I believe everything I've been doing has helped and the numbers that show that, and why I'm ready to do something big this season. So with that, let's go for broke.